It's the Go Gopher Podcast with Mike Grimm, episode number 205. I am Mike Grimm, voice of the Golden Gophers, and welcome back to the podcast. This week, we're talking Golden Gopher women's basketball with the team's leading scorer, Grace Grocholski. She has helped Minnesota to a 13-6 overall record and a 4-4 mark in the Big Ten, and on pace to make the NCAA Tournament. They just beat Oregon on Wednesday night. They'll host Wisconsin this Sunday. We'll get to know the junior sharpshooter from Wisconsin, Grace Grocholski, this week on the Go Gopher Podcast. We're presented by alumni-owned Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're a business founder planning to exit your business, start by contacting Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. Sunbelt serves more businesses up to $5 million in revenue than anyone, and True North M&A serves companies with revenues up to $150 million. Get a confidential, no-cost, no-obligation business valuation started today. Hey, make the most of your life's work. Visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com today. Longtime Gopher sports supporter Cub is a proud sponsor of the Go Gopher Podcast. In a hurry, don't worry, Cub delivers. Get fresh meat, produce, everyday essentials, and more delivered to your door. Cub is the official grocer of the Golden Gophers and proud to support Gopher athletics for over 20 years. Shop happy. The Go Gopher Podcast is also presented by OnX Maps. Find out how to download the OnX Fish app for free by listening to the Go Gopher Podcast. We're podcasting episode 205 from the Aquarius Home Services studio. We also want to thank Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union for their support of Golden Gopher student athletes. They have supplied a gift card to Grace Grocholski for her appearance on this week's Go Gopher Podcast with Mike Grimm. We invite you to subscribe or follow the Go Gopher Podcast. It's free to do so. You can also go back and listen to previous Go Gopher podcasts from previous weeks. Last episode, for example, we had a return visit from Gopher women's hockey star Abby Murphy. She talked about her viral assist, the Gopher team, and the upcoming Winter Olympics. It was a great conversation. Go back and have a listen if you missed it. This week, it's Gopher women's basketball talk with star player Grace Grocholski. She'll join me next.
I'm Clay Geary, walk-on turned scholarship wide receiver for Gopher football.
And I'm Ben Utek, U of M alumni, Super Bowl champion, and Tony Dungy Uncommon Award winner.
We understand championship culture, which is why we're part of the True North family of companies.
True North invests in only elite teams, like the champion team at Sunbelt Business Advisors, Minnesota's largest seller of companies. To learn more about True North and our diverse family of independently owned companies, visit TrueNorthEquityPartners.com.
This is Jim Suhan for TSR Injury Law, 612-TSR-TIME. TSR Injury Law started off as a small business. They are now a large, very successful business because they help people, because they win cases. If you are injured, call 612-TSR-TIME. They will help you out or point you in the right direction. They will not charge you unless they win your case, and they win a lot of cases. We don't want you to need their help. They don't want you to need their help. But if you do need their help, call 612-TSR-TIME.
It's episode number 205 of the Go Gopher Podcast. We're talking Gopher women's basketball here, coming off of a nice win last Wednesday against Oregon out west, and Wisconsin coming up here on Sunday. We're recording Friday afternoon, and we have Grace Grocholski with us. Grace, thanks for coming on.
Anytime.
First time visit for you on our podcast.
It is, yes.
Yeah, thank you. Now we've talked a few times after practice, and but we'll go a little more in depth with the Go Gopher Podcast. Good season so far for you guys. You've got some quality wins. The USC game obviously was fun to watch. The Oregon game the other night, I was able to watch that too. Take me through your assessment so far here, sitting at 13-5 on the year.
Yeah, I think the first thing is I just love the group of people that we have this year. I think everyone is just really bought into what we want to do, and it's showing out there on the court so far, and yeah, just trying to keep the energy going.
Does this, the success you guys have had, did you kind of get a hunch that this team had that kind of capability as you guys gathered for the summer and started to work out from that point?
Yeah, for sure. I think the summer, you can just tell when a team is bought in to what we want to do. I mean, I know coaches talked about this. Like, we started working on transition defense in the summer and things that we knew we needed to work on. And I think some people coming in could be like, oh, like this isn't the same as what, you did at other schools or, in high school and stuff. So I think everyone's just doing a great job just doing what we need to be doing.
And in this kind of crazy world of college athletics where some teams, are bringing in whole new rosters, Nico Medved for the Gopher men, for example, you come in as a first-year coach, sometimes guys are graduating, guys are leaving. Maybe there's guys that don't fit your system. So he has one player back from last year, and so they're trying to meld. On the flip side, and I think it's more rare what you guys have in that year 3 for you. I think Sophie Hart's year 3, Amaya Battle's year 4. Maya is back. I know she's missed time, but she knows the system. You've added some pieces, obviously, high schoolers and transfers, but that core group, how important is that, as you said, you know what the coach wants, you can kind of lead as a player as well?
Again, yeah, that's also a big thing for us, is trying to be a player-led team, and it obviously helps when you've been in the program and you know more of what they want. Because how are you supposed to lead when you don't even know what they want yet? So, yeah, definitely having that core group back. Again, having people new that are bought into the system, and yeah, it shows.
And from that standpoint, then, as you guys work along, you guys were so close a year ago to making the NCAA tournament. Obviously, everybody who plays college basketball wants to get into the big dance. What do you think you took, if anything, from that experience late in the year? Then you get into the women's tournament and win it. So those experiences did what for you, do you think, for this season?
Yeah, I think anytime you're playing, you're building something, especially with having as many returners as we have. Learning how to, whether it's the WBIT, the NIT, the first year, like just stringing wins along that time can really help us in tournament time. And again, obviously playing in the Big Ten every game helps us at tournament time because we're playing great competition every single night. So I think just learning how to, win when it counts and do hard things when the pressure is like that is going to help us.
Yeah. Do you think too, from that standpoint? So you've played in some of these and had success, which is part of it, where it's like you say, the one and done. You got to string them together if you want to get to where you want to be. But then even before that, maybe the disappointment of not making the tournament, knowing you're probably a win maybe away, like one more win, where you learn like, hey, every possession of every game. If it's in January, still could matter. Like a win, turning a loss into a win could be the difference come March. Absolutely,
yeah. I mean, we went into that tournament. Obviously, the goal was to get to March Madness, as it is every single year. But we went into it saying, we're here, we might as well win it, right? So you're going to every game with the same energy. We come into those Big Ten games, and we've said that a few times this year, that these are must-win games for us, and that's how we try to go into every single game.
You guys got that win on Wednesday night in Oregon, and really pretty much controlled the game after halftime. I mean, it was back and forth, and then you stretched the lead. They did make a little run, but basketball's a game of runs. You guys survived that and get the win. So, what was the feeling like coming out of that game?
Yeah, I mean, Oregon's a really good team. They have a lot of versatility at every position. And so I think we did a good job just staying the course, which I think is the same thing we did in the USC game on some of the runs that they went on. So we just kind of had to stay and do what we wanted, what we came into the game doing. And so, yeah, it was a really good feeling after that one. We were really excited about it. And, yeah, handling the pressure at the end, I think the same way we did a better job than we did. So it's always the learning experience.
Getting a win on the road in this league is also not an easy thing to do. So every one of those you stack up. I mean, this is a resume win. I know it's weird because you look at, there's 18 teams in the Big Ten at Oregon, whatever they're at now, 3-5 or 3-6. Mm-hmm. They're better than that. Their net ranking, or it's not net, whatever the metric is good enough that's a quad one win. So any ones of those are huge, right? Right.
Yeah. Again, same with road wins. Just any of those that you can get. You try to bring any energy you can when it's not your home crowd. So, yeah. Honestly, I didn't really know it was a quad one win. But that's awesome.
USC has turned into a quad one win as well, and they're kind of weaving their way, trying to navigate through some injuries, and their best player, obviously well documented, is not in. But anytime you can beat them, and that was a home court win, and it was a good crowd for you guys. So take me back to the emotion of getting a win on the home court against the Trojans.
Yeah, I mean, we were definitely chasing that ranked win to start, and trying to. The energy in the barn was really good. Like, I said this in multiple of the interviews I had, was just going into some of those timeouts, I literally couldn't hear anything when people were cheering. So that helps you get energy, and then it just allows us to create it on the court. So that was huge for us. And again, like, staying the course are things that we're going to need to know. playing new teams, whether in March Madness or having to, Big Ten tournament and just any other teams we play, we're going to need to like be able to stay the course through runs because we play really good teams every night.
So if you can't hear, how do you know what's going on? I mean, just because you've been around, or you have to really strain to figure out what your head coach or assistants might be telling you?
More so just like running over to the huddle. Like once we get in the huddle, we were listening, and well, it was good because we were the ones talking part of the time. Like most of the time, she kind of joked that she had to tell us to shut up. Not really, but had to shut us up so she could get those things. But we were really doing a lot of the talking that game, which is why I think we came out with that win.
Yeah, player led, right?
Right.
I mean, you're in there, and everyone has a thought on how you're going to close the door on this thing.
Right.
All right. So, do you guys still do after a road win where you stop? Is it ice cream or something?
Yep.
So, did you do that Wednesday?
We did.
Okay.
Yes, we went. Oh, what was it called? It was like right next to the Nike store in Oregon. Yeah.
But you got some ice cream.
Yep. Road wins, we get ice cream, so that's always the cherry on top for sure.
Literally and figuratively, right?
Yep.
Do you have a favorite? Do you usually pick the same flavor wherever, assuming they have the flavor of your choice?
I love like banana ice cream, so they had like a banana cream pie one, which is my favorite, or like coffee ice cream type are like my favorites. But like I think one of our last ones we went to like Insomnia, so sometimes we change it up. Like
sure.
You can get kind of whatever you want.
Yeah,
so.
Cookies, right? They have cookies and
right.
ice cream there, right?
Yeah.
Well, I see the banana cream pie is my favorite pie, so I've not had the ice cream. I might have to
recommend.
Go find that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Personally, for you, this season, you've had a good first 2 years. It seems, though, that you have now kind of transitioned into even taking another step forward in your career. Take me through just how, and I know, a lot of players don't want to talk about themselves, but this has become, a team that you're kind of leading here, it looks like.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think first it just, every year you're in college, like you can say, obviously you come in as a freshman and you want to do really well, but you can just tell how much the game like slows down for you after a few years and tries to, you just learn a lot by playing. So it starts there, and obviously when you have like teammates like mine who are just so bought into what we do, anyone, especially for our team this year, anyone can have a great night. And so I think that's what makes us dangerous. So trying to, do whatever I can, whether that's scoring or whether that's rebounding or, getting my teammates the ball or defense, anything that night. I think that's what I've been trying to do this year, and then that helps you think kind of less about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what our team does a really good job at. Everyone's just trying to do whatever they can.
On one hand, part of that experience creates patience, right? In one hand, let the game come to you. But it seems, too, there are times where if the Gophers need a bucket, you kind of know, all right, I'm gonna do what I can do here to get a bucket, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's some of them where it's like you just have to either take a tough shot and it connects, or sometimes you're put in the spots that I'm put in and you go for the basket at that point. But again, I think it could be anyone on our team. Whoever's the hot hand, we try to feed it, and yeah.
You hit the crazy three the other night, right? You hit two? Were they both in the fourth quarter? I think so. So the first one, describe that. How did that unfold, and you knock it down?
The time was winding. I was trying to kind of drive in, but I think they were in a zone at that point. So just kind of dribbled up, and the time was running down. You had to shoot it. So try to, it was kind of like a step through three. So just put it up there the best I could. Tried to shoot it normal. Yeah. So yeah, it worked.
And then the second three, again, late shot clock situation, and you just rise up and hit it. And I think, did that put you up 14 or something like that?
Yeah.
I felt like when that went in, I'm like, okay, that probably closes the door. And it's easy for me sitting on my couch watching that it closes the door. But the players on the other team also have something to say. So it did get a little tight after that,
right.
But you guys fended off. But that was a big bucket at that time as the shot clock winds down. So you have had some clutch shots in you. Is there a certain aspect that you thrive in that kind of situation? Do you feel pressure, or do you feel no pressure? Like, hey, the shot clock's winding down, I'm just going to throw it up. Or what is your mentality when the situation requires a clutch play?
Yeah, I think it's really just like any other one. Like, I think that one Tori drove down, drew 2 people, like that's a great kick out. That's great offense for any time of the game. Same with like the ones in the USC game. Briley stole the ball from them from the inbound, and I got a open 3. So it's like there's just the little plays that go into all those things make it less of that moment and more of just like a normal play, because that's the offense we want to have the whole entire game.
You guys, I have noticed too, work a lot on individual work, on your own time off, and sometimes before practice, everyone goes in and does their thing. What do you think has been the biggest key to your progression as a player from that standpoint? Like, are there certain individual skills that you have worked on that have advanced your game? And if so, what are they?
I think one of them is change of speeds. Helps you, like, again, like I said, like the game like slows down for you and you try to like my strength is not my speed, I would say, so you kind of have to find other ways to drive and do things like that. So that I think is one of the ways that I've grown my game. And just from a standpoint of you can score at all the levels, right? You were a high school post player for the most part, right? So how much has that part helped you? Yeah, I mean, I was kind of just the tallest person there, and my dad was a post, my mom was a post, my sister was a post, so like you kind of just worked out like with them when you were younger, and yeah, I think it's just a great skill to have in general, just getting that finishing around the rim as well as just like having good footwork down there can help you when you drive too and everything. So yeah, it definitely helps having that background, but I think it can also be learned for sure. Yeah,
and from that standpoint too, I'm going to go down this road in terms of you were a top 100 high school player. And I've heard this all the time. Everyone says, well, she played post in high school and now she's transitioned more perimeter. But you still, if the matchup's right, you are posting up or you'll drive and force a post up. But is that true? Did you not take a lot of threes, or were you more back and forth, or were you solely playing in the lane in high school?
I was not solely playing in the lane.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
like AAU. I did play like sometimes the post as AAU, but our offense was motion, which is kind of part of why I like Coach P's system, because we run motion offense and where you kind of take what you can get. So no, I was definitely taking threes and shooting a lot in high school.
I'm watching you make threes. I'm like, man, if she wasn't shooting threes in high school or AAU, then
no,
there's something going on.
There.
So, but you did have a post-up nature because you were the tallest player on the team as well. This team, in terms of confidence, how would you rate it? Just as you guys are sitting here in the middle of January, late January now as we talk, and we're kind of hitting crunch time here as you make a charge down the front stretch.
I think I can speak for myself. I just have confidence in the energy that we're going to bring and how we're going to show up every day at practice, and I think that's what's going to fuel us. So I have confidence that when we do what we want to do in each game, that we can be successful.
The Big Ten is tough, right? I mean, you guys are receiving votes. I wrote this down. 6 teams in the Big Ten in the top 15 this week, including some who they're talking about, hey, they could win it all or have Final Four potential. Another team was ranked. Nebraska was ranked this week. They've lost. I mean, you guys beat them, and then I think they've lost this week twice, so they may fall out. Another team maybe can move in. You guys are right on the cusp. There's 2 teams receiving votes. So, in other words, like the top 9 or 10, you guys are in for a fight every night, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, how do you guys, from a preparation standpoint? I know Coach Plitzelwhite is dialed. She's so dialed into prep. Sometimes I almost laugh sometimes at the answer she gives us when we're asking. You guys, I'm going to go all the way back. You guys were getting ready to play down at Kansas, and I asked her, "Do you think the players are excited to play at a place like Allen Fieldhouse?" And she looked at me like she had never even considered that you guys were even going to play there, because she's like, well, I don't think they're probably thinking about it. I'm not thinking about it. And I'm like, that would have been, for me, that would have been the first thing I thought of. Oh, we're playing in this great field house. But she is so locked in all the time, isn't she?
She is, yes. She's so into like the analytics and that thing, which really helps us because it's easier to see things when it's like, these are the stats. So that's how things work, right? Yeah. They get us really well prepared for every game. Obviously, like the normal things like scouting reports and watching films. And I think just the way that she does her film sessions, it always pertains either when we do our self-scout, like we look at our game and it always pertains to the next one. She's really good at making things connect and make sense and so that they help us, each thing helps us grow into the next game.
Yeah, and it seems like there's a routine to it too, which can help, right? I mean, there's a guide there. There's guidance to, it's a normal routine almost every prep, right?
Right, yeah. We look at we have a goal sheet, so obviously it has a lot to do with stats, like getting however many offensive rebounds or keeping the other team under a certain field goal percentage. So there's kind of like goals that we have, and obviously every game we get to see if we meet them, and then obviously she also says like stats can not lie to you, but stats can be deceiving sometimes, so you kind of look at the film for those types of reasons too, to see, like why did that happen, or what were things that contributed to whatever those goals were. So.
Right. Back to I got sidetracked there with that part of it because I'm just fascinated by the intensity with which your head coach coaches, which is great. The Big Ten itself, how much does that routine, that preparation then help you knowing that every night it's a battle?
Yeah. Again, I think it's just we've learned on how we need to practice in order to be prepared. Same, it goes with energy and just how we as a team approach each day, and I think that's something we do a really good job of. We understand like what it takes, and so she knows that when we bring that energy into practice is when we're gonna be able to be prepared. So
she said after the Washington game, she didn't know why, but you guys just didn't have the usual zip or energy. And obviously with Oregon, you guys did, and sometimes it just happens. Even the Timberwolves, Rudy Gobert last night after, again, we're talking on Friday, they lost, let that game slip away, and he's like, sometimes it happens. It just happens. So how do you try to prevent that? And did you feel it too when you're out on the court, like you're just trying to jumpstart and it just the engine never fired?
Right, yeah, we kind of talked a little bit about, like in the USC game, she was saying how she heard each of us say things in the huddles, and she was just like, after that first half of Washington, I didn't really hear that anymore. Or just, yeah, it was definitely, we brought it back to like our energy that game, and we didn't bring it either in shoot around that day, and it didn't go into the game. So I think the next days at practice, that was definitely a point of emphasis for us, is just creating our own energy, especially on the road when you don't have other people to create it for you. So yeah, it's definitely, every game can be a whole different experience, which that one shows and other ones have. So
yeah, and maybe there's crossover, maybe not. It's just an analogy, but sometimes you watch softball or baseball, and the energy in the dugout can change the complexion of the game. And sometimes if the energy's not in the dugout, the team shows it. Maybe not that there's a dugout, obviously, but maybe that's an analogy or something that it just happened.
Right. Yeah, and I think it was a lot on us five on the court. I think our bench always does a great job at having energy, and I think it wasn't picking up in the Washington game on the court, and I think we definitely are learning how to provide that ourselves.
Yeah. Let me talk about a sponsor here real quick. Here on episode 205, OnX Fish. We know the weather's cold. The ice is certainly thick enough to get out and do some ice fishing if you want to do that. And if so, you need to get the OnX Fish app. It will help you find the next best bite. The Fish app offers the most comprehensive fishing tool for increasing your success. Use the Fish app to find new places to fish. You can sort by lakes, species, abundance, trophy, and keeper potential. OnX Fish also shows you hotspots, lake-by-lake regulations, private and public land ownership info, and more. Download OnX Fish on the App Store or go to onxmaps.com/fish to get more info on the app that's changing the game on the ice, and try it for free when you download it for 7 days.
Know what the happiest bird is? Chicken. Cub fried chicken. Wait, let me rephrase that. Know what bird makes people happiest? Cub fried chicken. Crispy, crunchy, juicy, perfectly seasoned. It's the kind of chicken that disappears faster than you can say, 8-piece, please. Or, let's be real, maybe 12-piece. Because when it comes to fried chicken, more just means more happy. So if you're shopping chicken, shop Cub fried chicken. and shop happy.
Episode 205, we're with Grace Grocholski. Mara Braun back. How big of a boost has that given you guys this season, knowing the skill level she has and she's been around?
Yeah, huge boost. I mean, obviously just her leadership and as well as just the energy that she brings on the court, defensively, offensively, all of it has been huge for us. But I think specifically just that leadership-wise, the way that she's able to, the way she understands, again, like what Coach P wants, and obviously she was on the bench for these years, and she's can help in that way too. So she heard the coaching and things like that. So it's been huge for us.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. You answered it for me in that nobody wants to spend much of a season on the bench. She did, unfortunately, but maybe she took some stuff. She even talked about she was trying to be, as much of a coach as she could to, because sometimes a fellow player can say something that a coach can't or knows maybe how to get a point across. And now that she's playing, you've seen that translate then, you think, from what she was trying to provide last year to now she's a player and offering other things too.
For sure. And I think you can just tell her joy level too, just being back out there. And I think that's kind of changed how she's looked at basketball. Being injured, obviously you never want that, but for her, you can just see how much fun she has and how happy she is to be out there, which just, again, brings energy for the rest of everybody else.
Yeah.
And I think our coaching staff does a great job of getting people with injuries involved. I would say in practice and whether they're passing or obviously doing rehab and stuff, but they're really around and trying to still learning and growing in different ways.
As you are now heading into, as we mentioned, the home stretch, really not the home stretch, but it's getting there. It's going to be here before we know it. You guys are going to be in Indianapolis and playing in the Big Ten tournament. Are there a few things that you think this team needs to take, improve this or clean this up or whatever that, okay, this is our next step to where we're going to make some noise when the time comes?
I would say, yeah, just like I've been saying a lot, consistent energy is definitely a big thing for us because we can just see how much it helps us when we bring that. I honestly think that is the biggest thing for us, especially with how much she kind of every year she's like, I think you guys understand now what needs to be done. It's less about you guys didn't know, instead of it's more of just you guys know, now we just have to execute and do things. So I think that energy is going to be a big thing, and just staying true to what we have to do.
Yeah,
I guess, which I've said 4 times.
Yeah. Well, that's the key. The message is the message, right?
Right.
I mean, the standard is the standard, as they say. So if that's the message, you lock in and you go for sure. I'm going to ask you about a couple more of your teammates. We mentioned them earlier, and that you guys have been around now year in year 3 here. Amaya Battle, what's it like playing on the floor with her? She had a big night the other night, Wednesday, in that win.
Yeah, love playing with Amaya. She's obviously an insane passer. I always talk about that, and I think just her ability to do things. I feel like sometimes she doesn't even know. She doesn't even get how great she can be when she's being aggressive. And I think just the way that she's able to be aggressive and kind of control the floor is a great quality we need.
Is her personality is unique? I think she's the one who started calling your head coach Donnie P. right from early, maybe the first time they met. I think that was there. I've gotten a kick too in some of the post game either press conferences or interviews. She'll be asked about a specific situation and she'll be like, "I didn't even know that happened," And it's interesting because she's so good, but yet she just maybe that's what makes her good is she just goes about her business and plays the game.
She's definitely always herself. You can just tell. But I think it's that same thing. You can just see those times when she brings how much joy she gets out of it. And I think that is something that is cool about her. She kind of just has, just go out there and do it. I feel like that's her mentality. There's other years, we got to stop talking about it. We just have to go out there and do it. So I think it's obviously it's hard because as me personally, I think about things a lot. Yeah. So, every single thing that happens, I'm, thinking about and doing things like that, but I think there's something to be said about just I'm going out there and I'm doing it.
Just play.
Yeah. And I love that mentality that she has.
Sophie Hart, who's from here in Minnesota, she's your starting center, and a dual threat. She can score and obviously can rebound. When she's on her game, the team certainly elevates, right?
Right. Having that inside presence is something that's huge for not only our offense, but just, trying to get shots that are easier shots, right? Not that her shots are always easy because she has tall defenders, strong defenders on her, but when we're able to get the ball inside to her and she brings so much attention down there, it makes the whole game easier for all of us.
I think she's a little underrated athletically. Like, she moves pretty well, right? And she can pivot and do some things, block shots.
Definitely. She gets she's really good at getting the defense off balance, I feel like, down there. And her ability having a strong presence. Anytime we trust her going one-on-one against people. So, her goal is to bring two to help the rest of us out. So.
Does your coach have a stat? Nico on the men's side, and I'm around that a lot, talks about if they get a post touch on offense, even if the post doesn't shoot it,
right,
the ultimate result, the field goal percentage ends up being higher. Do you guys talk about that? How important it is to, even if she ultimately doesn't get the shot, to get the ball in because it creates just enough stress on the defense?
Absolutely. I mean, anytime the ball goes inside, the defenders are gonna turn and look and have to pay attention to that, especially when it's Soph who can score really well in there. So I think anytime we're really either struggling to get a basket, we always talk about get it inside first, and if we get it out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So inside out is definitely makes everything a lot easier, creating those closeouts and things like that.
Your other starter, we've mentioned the rest of them, is Tori McKinney, year 2 for her.
Yep.
Had a great freshman year, had a really good postseason last year as well, and it looks like she's kind of picked up where she's left off and is a key factor for you guys. Definitely.
I mean, 3-level scorer. She can basically do everything for us. Like, her biggest thing is just setting us up on defense. She's really good in that position and just putting pressure on people, as well as, again, drawing 2 people when she drives to the basket and passing. I know she had such a good one the other night to Soph when she drew 2, got us a layup. And those are underrated plays where it looks like it's an assist, but those are huge energy plays for the team when she just can create that well for the rest of us.
Bench players have been a factor, and you've had some injuries. Remember, and right. Now sometimes you even forget this team could even be deeper. But the bench is, it stinks that there are injuries in sports, but the bench has been very valuable. Take us through what each of those players means too.
Yeah, I mean, Briley is obviously huge for us. She does the same thing, creates that energy on the defensive end, and she also just creates for others by getting down there and driving in, and she's really good at getting down there and taking her time and making the right read. And then Fee obviously has been huge for us. Love working out with Fee. We kind of have to get on her to go to the basket, because when she's aggressive, that's when I think we're at our best, when our posts are aggressive. And I think Fee is doing a great job of just making the right read and coming in and giving us her all. And I think also McKenna is doing a great job. She kind of gets thrown into different roles, and she's doing a great job just staying calm and trying to navigate a lot of different things now. So she's doing a great job. That's
a good mix. There's no doubt about that. And it's been fun to watch. Next up is Wisconsin. So my question is, as somebody from North Prairie, Wisconsin, will Sunday, and again, we're talking Friday, hopefully we have a lot of folks listening on Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday. Does that game have a little extra heartbeat to your nature?
It's always a rivalry, obviously, just being at Minnesota. I now understand it more after being here for a few years. So it's definitely one where it brings a lot of attention to it and usually gets a lot of people. So we want to get the barn rocking on Sunday. Yeah, and they're playing pretty well, right? They've got a couple of wins here now that look to be
quality victories here.
Yeah, they've been playing really well. They do a lot of different things on offense, a lot of, I'd say, like unique movement and things that are hard for teams to guard. So I think that's going to be our main focus is making things tough for them.
So you grew up in Wisconsin, and your recruiting process was an interesting one. You initially had committed to West Virginia, right?
I initially committed to Arizona State.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay.
But, yeah, so that was like my junior year.
Okay.
And then Coach Charlie retired. And then I kind of like opened it back up because I was still young. I wasn't signed anywhere yet.
Right.
And then, yes, committed to Coach P at West Virginia and signed everything. And then she ended up coming here, and I was like, I just love her system, and I love that staff. And I did actually talk to Coach Ariel and Aaron at South Dakota when they were there.
Yeah.
So it kind of just all worked out. But it was definitely kind of a crazy time.
Yeah, for sure, right? And you're not sure what the future holds at some point when you're young. But you were sold on the recruiting process. You were sold on the system, the coaching staff, Coach Plitzowite, that whole crew. So it wasn't once the opportunity came here and the path cleared. Then was it a hard decision to decide that this is where you wanted to be?
No, not really. I think they kind of joke about it sometimes. They're like, we knew we had you because I came on my visit here like a week, their first week literally here, because I had to get out of my
the letter
of intent. So that took a little bit, but then once I did, I just came on a visit to, obviously you make sure you like the school and the area and everything, and I was like, sold.
Yeah, here you
Sold, committed on the visit.
So how far is your hometown from here? What kind of a drive are we talking about?
It's like 4.5, 5 hours.
Yeah, so not terrible.
Not terrible.
Not Arizona State, not a plane ride or West Virginia.
That would have been a lot crazier.
Yeah. Do your so you get your family come to a lot of games?
Yeah, they try to come. They're basically here at every home game on the weekends. Yeah.
Gotcha. And so as the recruiting process played out way back, I'm talking even as you were committing to Arizona State, what was that like? Letters and calls and when did it really start heating up then when you knew like, okay, I'm gonna be able to play college basketball at a high level conference and team here?
Yeah, I think my first call might have been in 7th grade.
Is that right?
Which is just crazy to even think you were thinking about college at that point. I don't even know if I really was. You just kind of are part of it. I mean, a lot of it helped coming from the AAU program I came from. I was there for 9 years with the same program, the Wisconsin Lakers. So they did a great job helping me talk to coaches, and I think especially it kind of got crazier like after you open it up a few times.
Yeah.
Because, and obviously you play, I was playing after junior year and senior year, and those were kind of like you just get better each year. So it definitely was crazier when you open it back up and people are, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely a crazy time for everybody in the recruiting process, but it's fun.
Yeah, and now here you are, year 3, and ready to lead these guys into an NCAA tournament and get in the hunt for postseason play. Yeah,
that's the goal.
Excellent. Well, hey, it was fun getting to know you a little bit better and finding out what makes this team tick here. And best of luck the rest of the way. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Grace Grocholski with us. It's episode 205. My thanks to Golden Gopher basketball player Grace Grocholski for joining me on this week's Go Gopher Podcast. What a great conversation and what a season she is having. The future's bright for Gopher women's basketball. Episode number 205 is presented by Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're buying or selling a business, visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com. Cub is a proud supporter of Gopher Athletics for over 20 years and a proud sponsor of the Go Gopher Podcast with Mike Grimm. Cub, bigger savings on the items you love. Shop happy. OnX Fish also sponsors our show, Happy Fishing from OnX Maps. Again, I'd invite you to listen to past podcasts, and please be sure to click that subscribe button or the follow button right now on the Go Gopher Podcast. It's free to follow or free to subscribe and free to listen at any time. And please share the link to the podcast with others so they can subscribe and listen as well. And if you enjoyed the podcast, let us know with some positive feedback on your social media channels. We'll talk again next week.
Know what happy is? Veggies. Crunchy, crispy, colorful, seasonal, aromatic, juicy veggies. Produce at its freshest. Cub produce. Best produce, period. Guaranteed to make you happy or will replace it. No questions asked. Because good produce makes veggie lovers happy. Just remember, fresh, happy. Stale, limp, and wilted, not happy. You want to make a veggie lover happy? Shop Cub for produce and shop happy.